Good morning, everyone. I am Tim. I am a trainer for ABV Metaal, which is the Socialist Metalworkers Union of Belgium, primarily active in the Flemish region. I'm going to talk you through what we are doing with AI, what are some of the things that we have learned. I will also explain, because last year we launched an AI chatbot, the Metalbot. I will talk you through how we made something like that with little to no programming experience or computer science experience. And lastly, we have a couple of employees who are actively using AI, and I will show you a practical example of a problem that we had within our organization, and one of our regional secretaries tried to solve it with AI, quite successfully, if I might add. I'm actually very excited to share this with you today, so let's dive right in. First off, it is very clear this last day and a half already, the economic and industrial landscape is changing very rapidly and quite profoundly. Because companies are adapting these AI technologies at a very rapid pace. According to the Belgian Digital Economy Overview, when we look at rather large companies, we can see that 47.9% of them are using at least one AI-based technology. That number drops to 23% for mid-sized companies, and it falls further to 10.6% for small companies. Now, the biggest hurdle to overcome an implementation of an AI system, according to these companies, is the lack of in-house expertise. That is the biggest hurdle. There are other challenges like costs, compatibility with existing systems. But interestingly, none of these companies told us that they thought AI was useless, which makes us believe that the perceived value of AI is quite high, even if implementing it isn't always as easy as that. But at the end of the day, we can't deny that all these AI technologies are having a big impact on the workforce, and it's a workforce that we as a union represent. Of course, as an organization first, we were also caught completely off guard. 5 years ago, ChatGPT, a large language model, we had no idea. Fast forward to today, I think a large number of our employees are very actively using AI. But as a union, secondly, when new technology is introduced, our experience has taught us that we have to be suspicious, because the implementation of a new technology does not always lead to positive outcomes for the workers. They pose enormous risks. But still, even with these things in mind, we took a conscious decision as a union, and we decided to work with it, to try it out. And immediately, there were some advantages that became very clear. First off, simply by using it, we gained more insight into it. We were able to assess the risks. We saw it hallucinate in front of us. We learned that when we do something with AI, we had to control it, we had to look at it, we had to verify it. And we learned its limitations, but we also learned the possibilities that it gave us. Only that aspect of it, it strengthens our bargaining power, because we know, even if it's a little bit of knowledge, we know the risks and we know the problems it has. Secondly, undeniably, we saw that our member service and communication was vastly improving. We could take very complex laws or very complex things. We ran them through a large language model. We asked a bullet point, give us a small resume. So we were able to put our focus where it belongs, to try and communicate better. And in the beginning, we used a couple of AI tools, primarily to transcribe meetings, to translate videos, but rather quickly we thought, can't we take this a step further? Why don't we make an AI chatbot, the Metalbot? they are inescapable. Inescapable. Website of a bank, car dealership, retail store, government agency. 9 times out of 10, you will be greeted by a chatbot. Now, as a union, we get thousands of questions from members and workers, and also union delegates within these companies get these questions. And we got to thinking, we would really love to support these people better, easier. So we have workers working the night shift, working in the weekends when they are unable to call someone. We have people working with no union delegate present. So we wanted to give them something so they could search an answer to their questions, because 90% of the questions we get are quite general. We wanted to give them something that they could use wherever and whenever. And so the idea of the MetalBot was born. But it was just an idea. Immediately, the self-doubt creeps in, and we got to thinking, is it too complicated? We really don't have the know-how or the expertise to do this. So like any good modern employee in this day and age, we simply asked ChatGPT to do it for us. And ChatGPT actually said it was quite simple. All we needed was a very good and solid data set. Now, as a union, as ABV Metal, we represent various sectors and various workers across these sectors. From body repair work for cars, electricians, steel. So we have a lot of sectors, and for each of these sectors, we have a booklet that contains all the primary agreements and laws within that sector. So we're talking about working conditions, work-life balance, wages, training, etc. So we had these data sets. And as ABV Metal, we really put a lot of effort in these. We try to make sure they are legally sound, that they are always up to date. So actually, for us, it was pretty straightforward. And that's a bit the beauty of AI. It gave us certain steps to follow. It wasn't always right. We had to engage with it and talk with it. But at the end, it gave us a couple of clear things that we could do. We could ask for a source. Can you give us a tutorial or show us someone who has done something like this? And out of that conversation, all we needed to do was convert our data set, our PDFs, to something that was more easily readable for the AI. And we had to give it a prompt, a very clear set of instructions in which we tell the bot how it should behave. So please do not write poems. Don't translate stuff that people give you. Only give answers that you can find in the data set. Don't go on the internet. There are a lot of wrong things on the internet, laws that are long bygone. So we really wanted to avoid those kind of things. So the prompt was there. And immediately we saw its limitations. By working with it, we encountered some problems. A good example of this is when someone gets dismissed from their company and he wants to know his notice leave. In Belgium, it's a very complicated construction. A lot of variables to take into account. It's a difficult calculation. And the chatbot was completely unable to give a good response. So what did we do? We instead of using, so we used a data set for its specific sector, but we also added a second data set with frequently asked questions to instruct it, when you get a question like this, always answer this. And now, whenever someone asks the MetalBot, I am leaving the company or I am dismissed, what is my notice period? It will simply give the link to our online tool, our calculator, which is always up to date. Quick and simple. Now, with our MetalBot working, the only thing we needed to do was form a bridge, was to be able to put it on our website. So we used an AI tool for that, a normal tool for that. It's a It is the only fixed monthly cost that we have. It's a subscription, no more than your average Netflix subscription, where it takes our chatbot and it gives us a couple of snippets of code that we can embed upon our website, and we were able to use it. So it's not, we didn't need a difficult development, we didn't need an external partner, we don't have a very expensive application. We have a monthly subscription, a couple of cents that we pay per question asked and answered. It's a very flexible and usage-based model. Now, it isn't an AI that we trained in the traditional sense of the word. We didn't run a Python script through it. We didn't bombard it with thousands of questions to train it. No, it's actually a standard large language model that looks up questions in a document. So when we encounter problems, because every so now and then we extract a file with all the questions and all the answers that it gave, and our legal advisors, they're going to look at these questions and they're going to say, is this a good answer or a wrong answer? And when we see these large language models giving wrong answers, we go into the data set, we compare it, we evaluate a question, and we try to adapt the data set by adding a line in the FAQ, if it is something general, by trying to formulate the chapter a bit different, by eliminating certain sentences or words that were unnecessary, to make it easier for the bot to answer. And everything was working. It isn't a system that gives a good answer all the time. It isn't something that is perfect, but very now and then we encounter a wrong answer, but it doesn't happen so often anymore. Usually when it doesn't know something, it stays quite general, and there was different guardrails that we put in place to evade these kind of things. I'm going to do a quick demo of it, very quick. First off, when you go to the website, you get a disclaimer. So a disclaimer that tells us, all right, this is just a bot that we put in place to be able to give you information a bit quicker, a bit faster, but it does not supplement, it does not change the fact that if you need legal advice, that you have to put yourself in contact with our offices or with our legal advisors. It cannot replace a lawyer or good legal sound advice. We added the disclaimer, so you have to read it and press OK before you can continue. When you continue, you get all the different sectors. So someone can look at, okay, what is my company, what is my sector, and he clicks on the chat. If he doesn't know it, he can type in the name of his company here, and it will tell him in which sector he is working. So it gives a standard greeting, and I can ask him a question like, what is my minimum wage? You can see clearly it is thinking very deeply on the matter. And it will answer. It's a bit of a bug I see. Normally, when you ask a question in a language, it will answer in the same language. For whatever reason, every time I do a presentation about it, it does this. But I think it's making fun of me sometimes. Not a problem. But I don't have to go into detail. Everybody knows how a large language model works, how it is. The MetalBot is also You can ask the question, do we as unions have to create something like that? What you have to understand about the metalbot and what we tried to do at ABV Metaal was we wanted to put the first brick. We don't have the expertise to program a complicated chatbot. But by putting that first brick, maybe someone else will go, if they can do something like that, what can I, with my expertise, create for the union? And that was the entire plan of the metalbot. And then I would like to go back to the presentation. Lastly, the metalbot was something that we did collectively, but a lot of individual workers are using large language models, are using AI in their day-to-day workspace. 5 years ago, you encountered a problem in your day-to-day lives. You did not have the technical know-how to solve it. What did we do? We watched a YouTube video, which after 9 different advertise sessions gave us a complicated answer or something that we really couldn't do. We tried to look online for a tutorial. It wasn't very clear. And lastly, we gave it to someone with the technical know-how, but who lacked the practical knowledge to really implement it the way we wanted. And now we can ask a chatbot, we can ask a large language model, I am encountering this problem, how should I do it? Can I solve it with code? Can you maybe write this code for me? I tried this code, but it isn't working. What is happening? And we can see that workers are, with these large language models, they are able to gain more agency, to use and leverage their creativity to navigate these challenges and try to overcome these small problems that we have all learned to live with in our daily workspace. Actually, now we can solve them like we want to solve them, so that we can put our focus where it belongs with the workers. And I'm going to show you a very short video of our regional secretary, Stan, who tried to do something like that within his own workspace.
Hi, Tim. So I attended one of your info sessions about the wonderful world of AI and also the implementation of the metalbot, our metal union, which was super interesting. I really didn't know that the world of AI was so fast changing. It's already so much possibilities. So yeah, it really triggered me to do something with it. So on a Saturday morning, actually Saturday noon, after the info session, I was sitting in the sofa outside. It was raining, typical Belgian weather. And I was thinking like, okay, answering some mails. And one of the mails and one of the frustration that comes back every week was about union leave. So how the process used to work in the past was like, okay, a representative of ours wants to attend the formation, needs to come to our executive committee. So we ask the employer for union leave. It's a really old process, in my opinion. So one of our employees takes the Word file, fills out the name, the date, they print it out, I have to sign it, and then they send it by letter to the employer. Of course, you can see already a lot of problems that could happen. So the documents get lost, the wrong date, or someone forgets to ask for the union leave. A lot of frustration, also a lot of problems by our representatives. So I was thinking, and then I was like, okay, but we had the info session with Tim. Maybe I can use AI to simplify or to digitalize it. So, and then I wrote down, what do I really want? What do I want to achieve? So to make it fail-proof, to make it work, and also to convince our colleagues to do something with it. So, okay, let's have a quick look. Share. Voila, so I really wanted a spreadsheet that like really fail-proof, really simple process, not too much steps. So I asked ChatGPT, like, okay, I want this. Can you write me a code that can send basically a document or like make an archive of a document? So we started with that. And meanwhile, hours and hours passed by. I think I let him rewrite the code 200 times or something. Okay, I'm gonna test it. No, that's a problem. I really want that. Or I had a new idea. So I always asked him. He gave me the new code, and by trial and error, yeah, we achieved now what is here. Right? It's really looks a bit crazy, but again, I don't understand all of it, actually almost nothing, but it works, and that's the most important thing. So how it worked is, so one of our representatives, for example, one of our really good representatives, Luke Skywalker, wants to attend the WHAI conference, reason why, on the 8th of May. And now the spreadsheet or the code is going to check for this test environment once every minute. Are there things changed in the spreadsheet? And then it will take the data, it will implement, merge it into a template, sign it in my name, and send it to the people I actually want. For now, it's only my working email address. It will send a copy to me, the secretary that asks for the union leave, to the employer. It's also, I have implemented some counters that will give me a clear view of how much union leave the representative has left. If it's below 0, it will not send out anything, just to not make any mistakes. For now, it's only me as a secretary, but okay, you can change everything. It doesn't look super fancy at the moment, but yeah, it can change in the future. The message I really want to give now on the end is like, I think a lot of unionists especially are afraid of the world of AI and everything that comes with it, are afraid to use it, are afraid or are against it. But the train already left the station. It's going faster and faster. I'm really happy to work with the metal union because we're already on the train, but we need to watch out that it doesn't go too fast, that we keep evolving too. But my message is to please embrace AI, do something with it, see the opportunities, don't be afraid, don't push it away, because everyone else around us is using it. I really believe it can enforce our representatives, our delegations in our companies, but also can enforce us as the union.
All right. Very inspiring example of someone who has really put his creativity together with an AI to achieve something. I've come to the end of my presentation, and I would like to leave you with 2 closing thoughts. First off, I think that AI training is really necessary, that it can contribute enormously to your employees. At the very least, they will have a better grasp of the risks and they will be able to avoid them. But for those who really want to actively engage with it, it can open up new space for action. It can really inspire them and use their creativity to create something, to solve a problem, and to try to put a better focus, to put their focus on the workers and not be occupied with letters that you have to send to employers and encounter problems, etc. And lastly, I really hope that our journey at ABV Metaal with AI has inspired you in some way. Because we really believe that if we as a union, if we can stay curious, if we can learn from each other, and if we can build on each other's experiences across sectors and across borders, then we will stop reacting to change, but we will help shape it to try and create better working conditions and a stronger movement. We can try to make sure that this technology is centered around the workers and not only around the profits. Thank you very much.